And who was your first big hero? Mickey Mantle, of course.
Mantle.
Well, everybody. So it's always the answer. I've never had another answer, so it's always the answer. Everybody, right?
That was it. And
everybody loved Mickey Mantle. That's just the way it is. I mean, there's a generation, millions of people who grew up idolizing Mickey Mantle, and there's a million of us. I'm one. You're one. There's countless millions of us.
Yeah. You may not remember this, but we met before.
Really?
In December 3rd of 1990 in San Francisco, the Giants against the 49ers.
Yeah, we went out to do the game.
I was there with you and Chris.
Yeah, we went out with that's the first Big Blue travel trip we ever made.
Yes.
Was that week. That's right. And the Giants won, lost the game
on
the Monday night. That's it. And went back and won again, in January. But you're right, that's the first Big Blue travel that people see now. That year, Barry Lieben from New Jersey called me like 100 times, and he was persistent. I'm like, I don't know. When Dog and I were just kind of in our first real full year together, and I have an idea. Can I meet with you? He kept going. Finally, we did the Big Blue trip, and Big Blue still to this day is now partners with the Giants. Barry Lieben's had great success. But they started that trip, 1990. So you went on that trip?
Yeah, we stayed at the Holiday Inn.
Did you go back for the championship game?
No.
Because we took another Big Blue trip back that year and won the championship game that year when they beat them in the three-peat game that year in January. Before the Super Bowl. That was the Gulf War time that whole year, remember?
Oh, I remember.
Yeah.
I remember.
Because, that Monday night game was a tough game. Yeah, that was a very tough game.
It was very tough, especially the trip going home in the plane.
So you're a big Giant fan, too.
I'm a Giants fan, yes.
And Yankees. Do you like hockey and basketball or just baseball, football?
I'm a hockey fan. I'm not a basketball fan.
Devils?
New Jersey Devils.
Okay.
Yep.
So the Yankees and the Giants. Now, have you remained a good like a big Yankee fan all these years?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think of this season, though?
It was a tough season. I mean, a lot of guys got hurt. The team's getting old.
I mean, this one coming up. What do
it's interesting. I did a thing with Andy Pettitte last night, and to see him leave, and that whole group. The core four is down to one. They did an appearance a couple nights ago, and we were talking. Andy and I, before we did the thing last night, we were chatting for a while, and we were talking about it and how fast it goes. And he was talking about the day he showed up in 1995, and he's a rookie, and Jeter and Posada aren't even on the team yet, and you're thinking now about these guys all being retired. Mariano now, Jeter's got coming back, but no Posada, no Mariano. Bernie's long gone. Paul O'Neill. So that whole group. And now they're in this transition period where they have to replace these guys. It's a tough thing to do. It really is. Those guys have been great players. It's a lot of guys to replace.
When's the decision going to come out about A-Rod, if he can play or not?
I would say now, ballpark, I'd say the third week in January. Third week in January, I'd say.
So their hands are tied right now.
Yeah.
They can't.
Well, I mean, I think they're going like he's not going to play. And then if he does, they'll take it as it is. But I think they're acting like he's not going to play. So I think that's their game plan, but we'll take it from there. But, there's a lot of issues. I mean, Jeter's health's an issue. They have to replace Mariano. They have to replace Andy Pettitte in the rotation. I mean, they have a lot of work to do. There's no question. It's a new team. Now, Cano leaves and goes to Seattle for all that money. How do you think? Let me ask you, you like the Ellsbury signing? Yes or no?
I do.
Okay. You like Ellsbury?
I like Ellsbury. I like the way he plays hard. I know that his injuries have come because he goes crashing into walls and other people.
Yeah. Yep.
So it tells me something about his desire. He steals bases. I think the Yankees need something like that. The only thing is, can they also keep Brett Gardner now?
No, probably they're probably going to trade him. I think for a pitcher, and then they got Beltran. How do you feel about Beltran?
I think he's great.
I think everybody likes Beltran as a hitter. He's a classy hitter.
Clutch hitter.
Yeah, great clutch hitter. Yes,
he's unbelievable in the World Series.
Playoffs, unbelievable. Great, one of the great ones ever. So, and a classy guy. I think people like him too, and they got a good catcher, which everyone is very high on a catcher. Obviously, getting McCann he's going to be a big favorite right away. He's fiery, left-handed. He hits home runs. He's going to be a big favorite.
A friend of mine compared him to Thurman Munson. What do you think of that?
Well, it's hard. He's just got here, so we got to get. But he's a home run hitter first of all, and he's fiery. I mean, he's a guy who likes to lead. He's a rah guy. He's going to be very popular with the fans. I can tell you. He's going to fit in right away and be very popular.
That's great.
So I mean, those are a couple of steps. Now they got to get the pitching back together.
Yeah. I mean, what's going to happen with this Tanaka?
I don't know. We don't know yet. We're waiting to find out about if they have an advantage or not. You know, the Yankees, if it's the old system, they have an advantage. In the new system, they wouldn't have an advantage. He just gets to pick what team he wants to deal with. So it's a completely new system. We don't know yet what's going to happen. How about you? Do you go to games?
I go to a few games a year. Not as many as I used to, but I still go to a few
How about
games.
the Giants game? Since you go on the road with the Giants, you got to be a big fan. I mean, if you went on the road.
I'm a big fan.
Did you go to any of the Super Bowls?
Oh, yes.
Which one did you go to?
I was the Broncos Super Bowl I was at.
You went to the Pasadena, okay, the first one, which was special because it finally winning after all those years. That was special. And did you go to the one in Tampa?
No.
I was
in Las Vegas to watch that game.
Yeah, that was a great game. It was. And you go to any others?
Yeah, I went to the one where Tyree made that catch.
Oh, yeah, in Arizona? That was a great game.
That was tremendous.
That was a wonderful game.
Yeah, beautiful.
Did you go to the loss? Did they lost to Baltimore? Did you go to that one?
No.
I did. That was a bad game. That was a rough game to sit through.
They were taken out of that game at the beginning of that game with that penalty.
Yep.
And the
holding call, it did.
It changed the whole game around.
Absolutely did. Yeah, you know that. You're a good fan. Yeah, absolutely. So you've been a Giant guy all your life. Did you go, the old days, did you go to Yankee Stadium, see the Giants play, and go to all the different places and watch it?
I was in the end zone one day. I think it was the end zone. I'm going from memory now, and I was a little kid at the time. Pat Summerall kicked a field goal, and it went into the stands, and they made me give the ball back.
Oh, you actually caught it?
Well, I didn't catch it on a fly, but it bounced, and I picked it up, and I had to give the ball back.
Really?
They wouldn't let me keep it.
Yeah. Well, in those days, they probably didn't have a lot of football. It wasn't like now where they have a lot of money, you know? They didn't have a lot of money in those days.